just fleshing out some wrinkles, is not necessarily to do a franchise model, because that's legally expensive for that whole deal to go down, but more so an installer kind of model where, like, I went out to Florida and trained a guy to make shelves out there. Currently with this marketing agency, we're putting ads out there to create business. They're talking to me, hey, I'm in Miami, I want a shelf. Great. This is how much it is. Do the purchase through me. And then I just send the shelf order to him. He'll make it, install it. We got a split going out. That times 50 states and break out of the states in different areas. That's the model we're shooting for, to be able to grow and expand this. Totally aside from, or we'll get that first and then we'll work with Home Depot saying, hey, we're going to give you so much service, give me an extra discount, right, for all these materials, things that they'll be buying. So still in its infancy, I'd say.
Here's what I would do if I were you. Unsolicited, you might think it's a bad idea, but since you have the Instagram following, I would make like a course or something, even if it's just a PDF, it doesn't have to be fancy, just like your whole business plan, basically. It includes the plans, it includes everything. And that's just like a lower tier offer. And then I would also offer an in-person training course. So I know a guy that sells in-person epoxy flooring training in Pennsylvania. And he ended up making a ton more on the training business than he does on the epoxy flooring business. So he literally has a retail store for epoxy flooring. He installs it himself, and then he has a training business, or at least he did originally. But at this point, he only does the training business. And so basically the second Tuesday of every month, he'll have a couple dozen people fly in from all over the world. They'll spend 2 or 3 days there, and he'll charge them like $5,000 to show them how to install it, all the tips and tricks, all the things to avoid. And then they'll go back home and then they'll start their business. And it's not a franchise. It's not even a licensing agreement. So he doesn't have to worry about those expenses or legalities. They'll start their business. Half of them don't even start a business because human nature, but he still collects his $5,000. And then when they buy their epoxy, they buy it from him. They don't have to, but most of them do. It's a good price and they know and trust the guy and they shook his hand and they met him, right? And so I'm thinking of a situation where you could have a quarterly in-person training there in Utah. People could fly in, you could post about it. And for all the people that, it's a lot of friction, it's a lot of money, it's, travel costs. For all the people that don't want to do that, you could sell them $100 course or $500 course. But you could say, listen, for the people that fly out here in person, they're going to be like authorized installers for me. Because of the leverage that you have with your Instagram account, you will be getting leads in Schenectady and Seattle and Tacoma, all over, people that want shelves. And if you had a guy come to your training and gave you $5,000 by default, he can be like an authorized installer. And if you have another guy in Seattle that just gave you $200 for the course, he's on his own, right? Because he didn't pay you as much. And you, frankly, you don't know how good of an installer he is because he didn't go to your training. So that could be an incentive for someone to spend the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 because you can send them jobs. And you don't have to guarantee them jobs. You could say, listen, I might not get a lead in Schenectady for a year, but when I do, you're my guy. And then you can take a cut of the lead. You could process the payment. You could pass 90% of it on to them. So you can make money training them. And then you can make money on installs happening all over the country that you don't have to manage. And then if you could even work into your contract where if they screw something up, a complaint comes back to you, you could cut them out of the network if they're not doing a good job.
Right. I love it. Thank you.
What would you say to other people that want to do like a similar business based on Facebook Marketplace? It might not be a shelf business, but I always tweet about the power of Facebook Marketplace and how people sleep on it. They don't have any idea how much opportunity there is there. And you picked one of 10,000 different verticals. What about the other 9,999? What advice would you give to people that want to at least validate an idea or fully fledged launch a business on Facebook Marketplace?
Well, one step prior to Facebook, just any idea, just for any of those that are looking to do anything, any business, I think the biggest hurdle that you can overcome is the fear of what's going to happen. Many people make excellent pastries or cookies, or they have a little hobby that, this is so cool. And it's just whether what the fear of rejection, nobody's going to want it, or it's going to be hard. They don't want to take the risk, fear that of the change or what could happen. I think that's the biggest hurdle. Not to say we necessarily had that. It was more of, let's just see what happens. We'd already had that practice, right? But for anyone just wanting to do something, I'd say that's the biggest thing. Now, a solution or a way around that fear, aside from just do it, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Think of it this way. When I made the first shelf, I got the money up front, right? I got the deposit up front that paid for the materials. Then I just had to deliver, right? Whatever fear or nervousness of showing up and, hey, I'm the shelf dude, let me make this shelf for you, was over in an hour because I made it and boom, I'm done. And then my confidence was boosted, right? After that first time. Fear, I guess, I don't know if this is a fear of not having enough money. Well, make a good one, sell it, get a couple orders, and that then pays for the way it pays for itself, right? You don't necessarily have to go out and take a $10,000 loan to do a business. You can start with one and you grow it.
How many shelves are you installing per month right now?
The average is about 20.
Nice.
Kind of all ranges, but the most popular is at 4x5, just because that's good. It tends to handle all the variation of bins that people have collected over the many years. I think that's roughly what it fits into.
Okay. Have you thought of offering ancillary services like garage organization as an upsell?
I have thought about that.
Yeah.
And whether or not, because I've I've contacted a couple garage cleaning organizing services to offer my shelves as part of their offering, just so I can just provide more shelves. I do like the membership or just the service model of cleaning. That's just compared to what I'm doing. The shelf's going to last forever unless you buy another house or want more storage or one and done, right? And so it's not necessarily the best business model. It's just a different business model than the membership service type thing. Definitely have thought about it, but just haven't really acted on it.
Yeah, you could outsource it to someone that's already doing it and just take a cut. I'm even thinking of the idea of is there an industry that you could invent that's like quarterly garage cleaning, right? Kind of like what you referenced, where not house cleaning, not weekly, not monthly, because it doesn't need it that much, but I'll clean my garage and 6 months later, I have to do it again. I wonder if people would pay for that. And at least you have a database of customers that care about their garage. You could at least send an email and ask.
Sure. Oh, yeah. There's been a couple of companies that I've done that with that do that specific thing. So it goes back to you can sell anything. You can sell anything, right?
Yeah.
People are willing to pay for anything. If it's hard, if it's difficult, they don't want to do it. I always think of that. What was it? A Pixar movie? Robots see a need, fill a need.
Well, any other thoughts or questions? I appreciate your time. Where can people find you if they want to buy your plans or anything?
theshelfdude.com is the best place to find us, or Instagram, The Shelf Dude. It's kind of the old logo here, but it's now a circle with the Shelf Dude in it. You should recognize me. Obviously, I'm the face of that, as well as the website. My phone number's there available as well. Give me a call. We can chat about any solution.